Mm. All right, cool. Let's get started. All right, let's do our highlights of all of our news articles really quick first. All right, so welcome to Trading Week number 4 of 2024. It's been a very exciting January and fireworks everywhere. So hope you guys have enjoyed that. Um, Shout out to Larry, who's been dropping a lot of articles to me. And we'll talk about a couple of them. And I didn't prep a Idiot of the Week, but we'll do that next time. We'll do our market overview in just a bit. We'll look at trading sentiment data. And if I could spell correctly, that would be nice. We'll look at the Fear and Greed Index and how that's shaping up. And of course, we love our Stock Traders Almanac for all of the historical data. And we'll see how January is shaping up against that. We'll, of course, talk about sector rotation and all those fun things. Lots of explosive news and earnings, and a lot of it is focused on Tesla. We'll talk about ASML, Netflix a little bit, and we'll also look at Tesla's upcoming new product launch. And there's been a lot of jokes about the name already. So it's codenamed Redwood. And then folks said, once it's dead in the snow or anywhere else, they'll call it Deadwood. And then someone else say, you just might as well call it Wormwood. So yeah, good stuff in the comments always. And we're gonna take a live look at Hertz car sales. And we looked at this last week since we found out about they're only 20,000 units and ceasing future purchases. So we'll see what the current equilibrium price is. So that'll be exciting. And yeah, we'll talk about ASML, and then as well as Toyota's response to Tesla. And we'll talk about Netflix and 3M, which is what's the formal name? Minnesota Mining and something? I forgot. But
Minnesota Mining and Manufacturing.
manufacturing, right. So they do a lot of like they're not precursors, but industrial hardware precursors in a way. And they sell a lot more than just, PPE. So this is related to the US PMI issues. So we'll take a closer look at that in just a bit. And then of course we'll look at swaggy stocks and see what the Gen Z and alphas are trading. And we'll look at some key econ news. And I was trying to compile a list of potential black swans. And maybe we can do this as a group exercise. So I wanted to think about like the Cyber Polygon event from, was that 2 summers ago? And then also the transition in the solar cycle for potential EMP or solar flare equivalents. And then there's some good charts here on some metadata we'll look at. And then um, surprise, surprise, stock lending firms play shenanigans. So we'll take a look at that.
They do?
Yeah. And not just in Australia, right? So all kinds of good stuff. And then we'll look at Q4 GDP data and unrelated RV spending spree, which is flaming up again. And then what else? This is a premium article, but I like the quote. This is from the UBS head from their currency desk. This has to be the least exuberant all-time high ever, which is pretty telling. And let's not forget, UBS just picked up the defunct Credit Suisse last year, so they're kind of juggling a lot. And then we'll talk a little bit about Japanese rates a little bit, and we've seen that trend go, even more negative. So interesting trend there. We'll take a look at some crypto topics, and here's a formal article on the anonymous nature of the ledger has been cracked by this one grad student. We'll take a look at that. There's talk of an Ethereum ETF coming out maybe this summer, and there was a massive pump and dump, pump and dump by a pastor in Colorado that we'll take a look at. And shout out to Larry for that article. We'll talk a lot about airplanes, of course. And the insanity in this sector has not slowed down one bit. And I'm really focused on the psycho Mr. Scott Kirby of United Airlines. This guy is off his medication or something. But yeah, we'll take a look at that. And then the famous In-N-Out in Oakland by the airport has closed down due to rampant theft and Grand Theft Auto and car break-ins. And Babylon Bee has a fun article about them relocating to a safer location in Gaza. So
Wow.
uh,
Wow.
hilarious.
It's unbelievable.
And then sports. And then, by the way, In-N-Out has never closed down a store in their 75-year history. This is the first.
Wow.
And
Which part of Oakland is this?
it's right on the way to the airport.
Oh,
It's next to what's also known as Cannabis Row because of the way they zone things. A lot of my friends' former like weed delivery businesses were housed there, and they all got robbed systematically, and they just freaking gave up. And
wow.
I've been out there myself with them, armed and armored, and still these guys roll up and try to attack. It's insane. It is insane. Oakland is a shit
Wow.
show. Sports Illustrated has closed up shop, which is quite a tragedy.
The other thing too is that,
Hey, somebody's got something in the background.
It looks like it's Linda. No worries. Welcome KS and welcome Linda. I'll repost the notes in just a second for you guys. And then related to 3M, we'll talk about US the manufacturing costs and whatnot. So we'll take a look at that. And also, we love to talk about Las Vegas, of course. And this is an interesting red flag for inflation. And it's the change in table limits. And if you guys have studied like just general gambling theory, you don't have a lot of control in Vegas because the house has a huge edge on most games. But if you can change your bet size, I mean, it goes back to like our position sizing rules. If you can change that as I mean, what was one strategy? Like you just keep doubling down until you break even or get ahead and you quit. So Vegas is changing table limits across a couple games. So that's interesting. So we'll take a look at that. The communists actually mismanaged funds, and we'll take a look at that here. So this is always a fun joke. And then on the armament side, we're seeing very high demand for firearms, ammunition, and accessories. So we'll take a closer look at that. And then at scale, we're seeing supply chain issues for Raytheon and whatnot. So is this directly related to the Red Sea? Not quite, but it doesn't help for sure. And then we'll take a look at how the feds are spending or misspending our budgets, and we'll see what the latest tally is, which is 20 billion on criminals that are illegally trespassing. And I love that they tried to change the narrative by using this positive lingo here, calling them migrant refugees. Yeah, kiss my ass.
Yeah.
And then we'll talk about California's continued insanity from Mr. Hair Gel. So this is finally implemented. And I have a couple friends who work in the small motor and repair industry. And this is going to change a lot of things. So if you didn't get your gas generators yet, you might want to look at getting them before they get banned in California altogether. And yeah, we'll take a look at real estate sales, home sales versus existing home sales, and lots of tech news. Looks like post-merger with Activision, Microsoft is just firing them across the board. So that's a lot of unhappy folks in Irvine, where the company's headquartered there. So, and then we'll take a look at a lot of international news, and there are tons of elections happening right now. And we'll take a glance at this nice little handy dandy map. We'll look at nuclear power production figures and why uranium is going to be a key commodity going forward, and a very easy, excellent bullish trade idea. Meanwhile, we'll take a look at Porsche's European IPO, which has fallen apart. And I saw some good comments here from the Zero Hedge community. So we'll take a closer look at that. And then the mainstream media is actually ignoring a lot of the European farmers revolts from France to the Netherlands. And it's incredible, like the footage there. So we'll take a look at that. A lot of French nationals are against immigration for obvious reasons, and it's sad to see Paris get vandalized and all the graffiti and whatnot from these North Africans who have no respect for such a beautiful place. And Paris is it's the most, I guess, most photographed city on the planet, as well as the tourist capital of the globe. So yeah, hope the French get their act together there and stop this insane invasion. And I found a new guilty pleasure, which is a subreddit channel called Espionage, and we'll take a look at that. And I found some interesting items there about North Korea, so we'll take a look. I saw this post on life satisfaction in the EU, so we'll take a look at this chart and see if it matches with our anecdotal data from our well-traveled SVOG trading team here. And we'll take a look at direct first primary source, I guess, documentation from North African refugees and why they think rape is okay. So we'll hear it from the horse's mouth. And we'll look at Saudi Arabia and how they're opening up their first ever liquor store. And just on a whim, this came up like in what's it called? In my Reddit feed, but I forgot to add this, but let me put in here. There was an interesting expat city ranking of 2023, and we'll look at the bottom and the top of the list. So interesting enough, South Korea is one of the worst countries. It's on the bottom like 5. So we'll take a look at that. And yeah, let me drop that in here. Okay. Oops. Oops, where did that go? Okay, cool. And then you've heard it from Rob that tech is deflationary and war is on the other side is always inflationary. And we'll go into a little bit of history with Nixon in 1971 and all those shenanigans. So we'll take a look at that. And then I can't even keep track of all of the theaters of war that we're involved in, but we've officially launched airstrikes into Somalia now. So yeah, wonderful. And then we'll take a look at the massive detour around the Red Sea and what's that doing to dry bulk shipping and whatnot. And surprise, surprise, European opportunists cannot say no to Russian oil. So we'll take a look at the dealing under the table with insurance products there. So we'll take a look at that. And then not much in the way of other news, but lots of China news. And we'll talk extensively on the massive cash injection into the market by Beijing and how that's really gone nowhere. And that's just, you know, solving a debt problem with more debts. Like only Americans can do that. Come on. And lots of good stuff here. Articles, we'll go over that. I have some updated news on the youth situation and unemployment, and got some cool updates on the industrial side as well as factories shut down. And we'll talk a little bit about this guy who is the brother of Terry Guo. So he runs Fox Link, which is not a subsidiary. It's a related business to Foxconn, but a little bit separate. And even he is shutting down his factories, and everyone's on a 6-month leave. And you know, that's an easy way to force employees to resign themselves instead of you firing them outright. So a lot of firms are doing this now. And yeah, so everyone's on this extended vacation theme in light of the Chinese New Year season, which is about to kick up. I believe that's 2024 New Year's is I think it starts on February 9th, 8th?
February 9.
Okay. Yeah. So February 9th for us, since I guess China is almost a full day ahead. But yeah, it's the year of the dragon and the wood dragon. So we'll take a look at that. And then we talked about the mortgage protests where folks are taking out loans and mortgages for buildings via the pre-sales process, but developers are running away with the money and not completing the buildings. And now we're seeing the same trend happen in the auto sector in China. And dealerships are just absconding with the money and running away with the vehicles, and showrooms are left bare and empty now. And there's no arbitration, there's no justice for these owners that are stuck. And I got some footage there, some footage here we'll look at. And this is related to what's called the 4S car dealerships in China. So it covers sales, service, spare parts and something like surveys or something. So we'll take a look at that. And oh yeah, here's the DPRK article we'll look at as well. And then we'll talk about the collapse of yet another industry in China, which is the solar market. And this industry has destroyed itself overnight. And basically, the cost per watt is about $1 for 1 RMB. It is insane. There's no money to be made in those kind of prices. So it's done. And we'll take a look at what that means for us, since a lot of solar cells in the US are sourced through China. And yeah, we'll talk at the usual Chinese shenanigans. And then here's an interesting trend in China. Libraries now hit instant capacity the moment they open because there's nowhere else to go, from the students or recently graduated students to young folks who got unemployed and older folks who are trying to get employed and folks studying for civil service exams for government jobs. Like, there's nothing else for them to do to then try to, work hard and get out of this problem. But there's no real solution for these folks. And, I hope they brought their box lunch, but, all they get at the libraries is free Wi-Fi, and that's about it. And then we'll look at Jack Ma, who's literally under the gun, and he's buying up Alibaba shares. And whether this is voluntary or not is for you to decide, but we'll see what that's looking like. And I think we mentioned this last week. I forgot to remove it, but China's multiple trust funds are just collapsing left and right, and number 3 just shut its doors this week as well. So yeah, lots of interesting news. So that's a highlight reel, and
it's not tradable. But did you hear the issue that happened about the piano player in?
Yeah. That's one of our articles. So we'll talk about yeah, it's insane.
Brandon Kavanaugh, I think.
Yeah, we'll take a look at that.
It's just funny.
Yeah. All right, and let me upload the notes one more time for the folks that just popping in. We got the Google Notes, the Google Docs version if you want to follow along there, or the PDF version. So, oops. Let me upload that. Where is? Okay. Well, that's uploading. Let's look at our market overview and see how the market is shaping up today. Okay. All right. So here's ES this is the future side of the S&P 500 family. And today, excuse me, is slightly up. And yeah, I guess everyone's getting emotionally prepared for the 5,000 mark. So we'll see how that shapes up. And let's go to the trading analytics and see what the betting public thinks of the market today. All right, so about 160,000 calls against 285,000 puts. That puts us at a put to call ratio of about 1.8, and fair value from what we've seen is about 1.4. And again, the sizzle index numbers are super broken. We've consistently seen the same amount of volume, and this makes no sense. So I've complained to TOS support multiple times. They give me the usual BS answer, but yeah, I'm not thrilled with TOS, and I hate the idea that one day we'll have to leave this platform. But yeah, there's no innovation. There's no even maintenance of its different modules, but that's okay. All right, looking at the SPX, the big boy option contracts of the S&P 500, looks like, yeah, this is a normal trading day for the most part. This also likes to live in the 1.4 range. We're slightly more optimistic than that. And again, the sizzle index is also broken here because these numbers we've seen is standard procedure. So yeah, can't trust that anymore. And let's look at SPY, which is more retail centric and usually a bit more optimistic than the supposed smart money counterparts. And let's take a look at that and see if today is no exception. 1.1. So yes, a little bit more optimistic, and yeah, usual volumes in the low millions. And yeah, so that's working well. And let's shift to our cousin indexes, and let's start with the tech-centric NASDAQ and see how the Qs are performing. So it looks like today it's also flat. And let's see how the betting public is performing as well. We're seeing a little bit more optimism as well in the put call ratio at 1.2 effectively. And yeah, no surprises here. This is also gearing up to um, pace with the market as the S&P hits 5,000. And let's look at the more schizophrenic of the indexes, which is the Russell 2000. This one loves to overreact and is a little bit bipolar, to be honest. You know, it's like that one crazy girlfriend that just won't take no for an answer. And yeah, today is an unusual day. This is a bit optimistic. Usually the put call ratio is at like 2.1, 2.3. So this is optimistic for the Russell 2000. And just for kicks, let's look at the diamonds representing the Dow Jones side. And this is traded at much smaller volumes, but it's kind of nice to just take a glance and see what this looks like. This is also known for being ridiculously optimistic. And today is no exception, 0.7. So we got about 18,000 calls against 13,000 puts. I mean, these are tiny volumes, but still, whoever's trading this is always super optimistic. And let's look at our VIX values and see what that's looking like. This has been trading at the 12 and 13 range freaking forever. And it's almost boring to look this up. And this is the bane of many 0DTE SPX traders. And I just wish this was back in the 20s where we were making some serious money. But that's okay. So yeah, VIX, very undervalued relative to everything. And yeah, everything is all as well according to the VIX. There's no, multiple theaters of war. Everything's fine, nothing to write home about. All right. And with that, any questions or comments? If not, we can pivot to our sentiment data. Now let's take a look at that. And this is a nice survey to the large membership of the American, okay, I keep forgetting how to say them. It is AI stands for
American Association of Individual Investors.
Yes, there you go. Thanks. Quite the mouthful. And let's see, the optimism over January has changed a bit. So we started a month fairly optimistic, and we've lost almost 9 percentage points. And the sort of neutral sideways crowd has expanded quite a bit. The bearish camp is actually still fairly consistent, but yeah, all-time highs and increased sideways guesses. So that's good to know. And with that, let's look at the CNN Fear and Greed Index. And let's see what the aggregate number is at. It should be in the 70s, I believe, if this will load. Okay, 76. So yeah, nothing's wrong in the world at all. And let's skip most of the indicators. I really just care about the McKellen one for stock price breadth. All right, so just to recap, this is to look at the number of shares, the number of stocks and shares that are rising versus the numbers that are falling. And we want to see what this number is. So while it has been greedy, it is losing a lot of steam. So at some point, this will be neutral and then bearish. So it is changing. So good to know that the stock price breadth is moving. Okay, so we'll have to keep our eye out. All right, and let's look at the almanac for January. This has been really helpful for us, and this might have ominous signs for the rest of the year since this, so let's look at the data. So January's barometer predicts the year's course of a 0.743 batting average. 14 of the last post-presidential election years followed January's direction. Every down January on the S&P since 1950, without exception, preceded a new or extended bear market or flat market or a 10% correction. S&P gains in January's first 5 days preceded full year gains 82.2% of the time, and 13 of the last 17 post-presidential election years, followed by the first 5 days direction. November, December, and January constitute the year's best 3-month span, and January's NASDAQ is a powerful 2.8% since 1971, and the January effect now starts in mid-December and favors small cap stocks. 2009 has a dubious honor of the worst S&P 500 January on record, and the Dow gained 1,000 points in 2018 and 2009. All right, so let's double check how the SPY is performing on the month scale. And let's see. So if we look at the first 5 days trend, I would say that's definitely negative. It was kind of a mini bloodbath, if I recall correctly. But as a whole, let's see. The first trading day was 471, and we're at 486 now for SPY. So overall, it is an up month, but the first week was bad. So yeah, we'll see how January closes out before we make any final predictions here, or analysis, I guess. All right, and I can't find my Stock Traders Almanac to get us the February one, so I'll have to keep digging and finding it, hopefully. All right, and let's pivot to sector rotation. And let's look at the 11 subsectors that make up the S&P 500. And these are nice 5-week tails. And oh, thanks for enabling captioning. Let's see how this has been shaping up. And then the overlay on the background is the S&P itself, which is kind of nice. All right, so at a glance, let's see. Energy and oil has still not been doing great. A lot of movement here. Real estate is up. And I thought about why REITs are up, and I think I finally figured it out. I mean, kind of dumb here, but since home ownership is declining, people still have to rent things, and therefore REITs will do well because they're the last, game in town. So yeah. Low-level insight, but finally figured that out. And then here's the XLK, which is the tech subsector, which parallels the NASDAQ fairly closely. Here's XLF, domestic financials. Here's industrials, which is kind of spinning water. XLY is, I keep forgetting if it's staples or discretionary. Okay, XLY is discretionary. Okay, so this is consumer discretionary here. Here's XLB, which is materials, and then XLV is healthcare, and then XLU is utilities, and then I can't see who this is. But yeah, if we go to the table view, yeah, a lot of tech stuff here, courtesy of the Magnificent Seven. And if Tesla keeps misperforming, they might get kicked out of that club, so we'll see. And consumer discretionary is suffering a lot since people are tightening their budgets. And with that, let's pivot to individual tickers. And if you guys have anything you guys would like me to look up, I'm happy to throw that in here. And I know what's missing here. Let's add in some of the crypto miners and see how they're shaping up. And I think those are still having a very bad day overall. And this is, again, slightly stale data from Tuesday close, but still very helpful for our purposes. And let's see, high flyers include Marathon here, MicroStrategies, Beto. We know AMD and NVIDIA is kicking major ass. And here's NVIDIA, and then here's AMD. Palantir is sucking. Let's see, a lot of oil stuff. The Widowmaker is the worst one here, and it's really living up to its name. NEO is a disaster as usual, and that huge campus on First Street in Montague is still empty. So yeah, the US office is basically defunct. And then here's Upstart. Where's Affirm? Oh, there's just too many things up here. But buy now, pay later is looks like it's amazing, making a resurrection. Here's Riot. Here's Arc. Let's go to the table view. Yeah, AMD, Nvidia, you know, the nerd safe haven stock. So no surprises there. And losers include crypto miners, Neo, Tesla, Upstart, ARK, and Chinese stocks. And the CIA front, Palantir. All right, cool. Any other tickers you guys want me add in here? Or we can visit back. Oh, how could I forget airlines? How can we forget airlines?
Oh, yeah.
We got Boeing, UAL, DAL. Wait, United is UAL, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
LUV.
Yeah, Love.
Save, SAVE.
Yeah. What's Alaska? ALK?
AL.
I
I
believe
don't
it's
know.
ALK.
ASK. I don't know.
Okay. Okay, I think I guessed right. All right, let's see where they are on this. The improving quadrant. So it look like they're all pacing each other. Oh yeah, and we're going to talk about solar a lot today. So let's add in a couple of solar players. So here's the ETF, which is TAN. Let's add Jets to cover airlines. Let's look at First Solar, Enphase. I mean, those are the major players. So let's see how those are shaping up. So here's Enphase, TAN, and these stocks might be in serious trouble if the production cost on the China side is 1 RMB per watt. Holy cow, that's no market. But yeah, let's go to the table view. I'm not sure if Dave, if you need this screenshot, but here's the top of it. If you want to grab this, and then we go to the bottom. Here's the bottom. Oh wow, save is the worst one. Oh, holy cow. Yep. Okay. And I read on Zero Hedge that most of Save's companies or the jet engines are from Whitney and Pratt, which are having huge issues with fake parts that are not up to standard, not rated correctly, and are imitating the real deal. And it's a nightmare to do what's called, I think, the Schedule C maintenance, where they take apart an engine in its entirety and put it back together. And that takes 9 months per engine. And if you have fake parts in there, like I can only imagine the shenanigans there. So I would not fly Spirit if you, yeah, yeah, please do not fly Spirit. You're gonna die. Okay. All right. So if you guys want me to visit sector rotation with other individual tickers, I'm happy to circle back. And let's look at earnings. Lots of earnings news, lots of earnings trades today. Let's look at some key stuff here. I believe this is a premium article. Again, Zero Hedge is playing hot potato with all of their stuff. I think I just have to bite the bullet and just buy this again. I mean, it's okay. It's like 25 bucks. But here's just the opening paragraph is kind of helpful. Tesla broke the big 200 support post earnings. Next bigger support is 180, and we're already trading below the 200-day moving average. So let's pull up the charts really quick and verify this personally. Oh, misspelled that. Okay. All right. Okay. So let's see. Post earnings gap down, big fat doji, no surprises there. And again, on momentum, on balance volume, in the net selling and buying, we are right at the zero line. So it's falling out of favor in a big way. And yeah, people are dumping them. So yeah. Let's see. We are definitely below the 200 and 500-day moving average here. So magenta is 500, black, solid black is 200. So we're well below that. So you can expect a lot of analysts updating their recommendations on Tesla post earnings. So we have a lot of news to cover, but yeah, we'll see a lot of stuff happening in the near future. So there might be a lot more room to fall coming up after this. And if you look at the betting public, it is quite the bearish market. I posted this to Discord earlier today. Yeah, pretty bearish, and a lot of folks are not buying this dip. they're not convinced of Tesla's success. And I haven't looked too deeply into the earnings report, but I'd imagine since we talked about this before, but China is about half of their revenue. So if the China market is having a stroke, that can't be good for the underlying whatsoever. So yeah. And let's look at other cool Tesla news. I think I have 4 articles on this. So yeah. Let's take a closer look together on the earnings report and see what that's looking like. All right, so it misses on top line revenue figures, bottom line as well, but margin beats. Warns volume growth may be notably lower due to next gen vehicle launch. And yeah, so let's see. Tesla produced about 500,000 vehicles and delivered 484,000. Production beat estimates of 282K. Okay, so here's Tesla deliveries by quarter. Okay. Then the number is up 38% overall, but less than revised expectations. The street is looking for more granularity with Cybertruck deliveries, which have not broken out from its Q4 delivery total. Yeah. And then their new model is going to be a 25,000 mass market vehicle set for 2025. So we'll take a look at that. And we talked about this last week, but they did cut prices globally again, and this started in Germany. And Hertz was also very unhappy with their large fleet of Tesla vehicles and have unloaded them. And we'll take a look at the real street value on the Hertz car sales website itself. So yeah, again, I haven't really looked into this. Has anyone have any other helpful insights if they've maybe done more homework than me?
Well, just that their future results are going to be impacted by all the cold weather that makes them unable to even get charged, let alone have any decent range.
Yeah, and I think this is an accident of fate, but I mean, since the Cybertruck is majorly delayed, they had no choice but to ship it as soon as it was as soon as the assembly or the production line was finished. So launching the Cybertruck in the middle of winter was probably not a smart idea.
Did you see the towing test that guy did with the Cybertruck? He got 90 miles towing
no.
something heavy in the winter.
Really?
It was all over the news articles on YouTube.
Okay.
He towed a Hummer.
But an F-150 is not going to be any different.
Oh
Actually,
yeah.
he did both. He did F-150. He owns the Rivian, and those did a bit better, but it was not as cold. So
they towed a Humvee. That's hilarious.
yeah, because he wanted to get to the 11,000 rated limit.
Okay.
That's his electric Humvee. He built that. It's electric.
Really? Oh, that's so
He
cool.
built it,
Check
yeah.
it out.
That video's been out forever.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen
I
this.
mean, like a year.
No, this just came out.
Wow. Okay. Let me drop this in the chat. This looks like it's a week old. And welcome, Michael, Mr. Impaler himself. Let me share the notes in case you didn't get this. Here's the Google Docs, and let me upload the PDF version if you prefer that.
Okay, maybe not cold, but he had a video a long time ago.
Okay, so Humvees are 11,000 pounds? I didn't know that. Okay. Wouldn't be surprised.
Well, with the trailer.
Oh, okay. Got it.
He's got a YouTube channel.
Okay, that's pretty cool. I mean, will we consider this guy a smart guy? I mean, I guess he's entertaining us. And
He's pro electric, but yeah, he's smart.
okay. And I
He does
imagine
real stuff.
okay, so
You can trust his opinions, but he's definitely very pro electric.
oh, okay. And I guess his AdSense revenue or his YouTube monetization pays for all of these toys. And it's a tax write-off, so that's hilarious. That's awesome. Okay.
8 million. That's high.
That's a
8 million
lot.
subscribers.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. So he has a lot of cool stuff. Okay, I'll take a look. Thanks, guys. All right. All right, let's talk about Redwood. And the penis jokes that have come out of this are hilarious. So yeah, so let's see. Here's a good chart. Let me make this a little bit bigger. So here's Tesla's prices as a whole. So average price of a used Tesla, according to CarGurus data, we are 47.2% from the peak. So can you imagine all the suckers that were buying this last year in the spring? Oh wait, this was partially because of the lithium and nickel shortages, if you guys remember. So I flipped the Model Y, right? So when did I buy that? February? Yeah, February, I think I closed. And then I didn't make a lot. I think I made like net 3,000 or something. But yeah, I started here and then I got out before the true top. But yeah. But yeah, now it's 35,000. Okay. And we'll look at the Hertz sales figures in just a second. Let's actually just go to that directly. Hertz car sales, Tesla Model 3. All right. And I believe I had a screenshot of the count. Yeah, for this January 18th, it was 496 overall and about 374 for Model 3s. Let's see if that looks different now. Let's start with Tesla. Oh, wait, did they change the format? Wait, let me start over. Tesla. Oh, they changed the, okay, well, how do I do this? Okay, let's just look for Tesla. Okay, total count 713. What was before? 496. So they've added 300 of more here. So okay, and let's look at prices.
Wasn't last week just the local place?
Yes, looks like they've sold off the high mileage ones. We saw what nine
Like their city and state.
yeah.
I don't remember what she did, but
Okay, so yeah, something about the navigation has changed a little bit. That's okay. But we did see like 80,000 and 90,000 mile units. And let's see the cheapest one first. Let's sort by cheapest. Price low. Here we go. All right. Okay. Here's another major contender, 20,000. Wow. 90. So we'll save a screenshot from now on. This is the cheapest Tesla. Okay, I'll throw it to our list here. 125, 2024. Cheapest Tesla. Okay. Okay. We'll look at that in the future. But yeah, let's just take a look at the inventory. Gosh, 20.4K, 20.7, 20.9. Oh, here's the other one, the local one, the Pleasanton one. 99,000 miles for 21K. Unbelievable. Great price. That's awesome. This is incredible. Okay. So they're all 20 something thousand dollars. I mean, if you're really crazy, you could buy like a 50,000 mile one and drive it until the car falls apart. But yeah, okay. 713. Yeah, let's save the screenshot as well. Whoops. 765 units. Okay. Okay, and then this is the count. Okay, 124 overall Tesla count. Okay, cool. So yeah, we have a lot of pissed off Tesla owners, and this is why Almer doesn't come to our sessions anymore because we keep talking shit about this very nice red Model 3. Okay. Continuing with our earnings news, let's take a look at ASML's latest phenomenal figures. And they're not supposed to sell to China, but it seems like they can't say no to all of that money. And to
Yeah,
break
they could
this,
sell lower technology ones.
yeah. Well, China really wants to break the 7 nanometer threshold, and they
Yeah, they
definitely
ain't
need,
gonna get that one.
yeah, they need this very special deep UV lithography machines. Yeah. But yeah, let's pull up the chart. ASML. All right. So yeah, wow. Huge breakout. Amazing. ATR exploded. Yeah. Good for you guys. Lots of strong inflows. Amazing. I'm sure this will be a nice safe haven for a lot of folks. And let's look at the betting public and see if the post-earnings crowd is also very optimistic. And they are indeed. Lots of pickup. Yeah.
By the way, that fits Warren Buffett's definition of a moat.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, they're the only show in town, really. Every foundry needs their stuff. That there's no question. Definitely a good moat. And are they profitable? They have a small dividend. 40 PE. I don't know if that's good or bad for semis. Um, what's the semis ETF? What's it called again? SHM or something?
SMH.
SMH. Okay. Okay. Oh, they don't have P's here. Okay. But for yeah, SMH, how are they performing? Also fairly well. Okay. Very, very cyclical and having a good time at the moment. Okay, great. All right, cool. Let's see, anything else important here? Here's a geographical breakdown. We've seen a decline in Chinese stuff. That's inevitable. Everyone else is pretty constant. Taiwan's picking up. Okay. Okay, cool. Good news there. Um, oh yeah, Toyota, we don't have to read into it, but Toyota is adamant that EV sales or EV cars in general will not dominate the global market. And this is proving correct in a big way. And they're focusing a lot of their tech on other stuff like fuel cells and all kinds of other things. All right, cool. Let's take a look at Netflix. And I posted a lot of commentary on this in the Discord if you guys got a chance to see. Uh, and they had a large subscriber growth for this quarter. And it seems like one of the main reasons is that uh, a lot of kids, or I guess even some millennials and Gen Z folks, they don't know how to pirate media. So, and I think paying $15 a month to Netflix, or it's not even $15, but whatever package they have, they're fine with doing that instead of dealing with complicated Russian streaming sites or Pirate Bay or different torrents and stuff. But yeah, we're getting back into the original debacle between like TV versus cable. And people are getting a little too saturated with constant subscriptions. And it's everywhere from Nintendo to Adobe products to whatever cloud storage service you're using, Spotify, Netflix, freaking Amazon Prime. These all add up really quickly. $15 here, $20 there. Yeah, you're gonna own nothing and like it, I hope. So yeah, but yeah, people are having a good time with Netflix, I guess. But the writers and actors strike just ended what, in late November last year? So there's still gonna be a huge problem with developing content to catch up. And sure, like South Korea and to a certain extent Bollywood will pick up the slack, but overall Hollywood is getting less and less relevant as we go forward. And all they can do is a lot of diversity garbage and dumb reboots. So Yeah, from a soft cultural perspective, or a soft power perspective, Hollywood is losing the overall culture war. So yeah. But yeah, at least they had good quarterly earnings. But yeah. Cool. Let's look at the chart briefly as well and see how that's shaping up. But yeah, for the most part, there's a lot of pedals and bean counters at the helm now, so not very innovative anymore. But yeah, for now, huge gap up as we know, strong inflows at the moment, almost looks like ASML. Let's look at the betting public and see how the pickup is today. Yeah, that's actually slightly bearish. 0.64, slightly bearish. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, okay. Okay, all right. But yeah, bullish at the moment. Let's take a look at 3M. Minnesota mining and gosh, I forgot. Minnesota and manufacturing. Okay, 3M. And these guys are having all kinds of problems. And let's recap on their core competency. They make a lot of industrial precursors. So let's take a look. So yes, 60,000 products under several brands: adhesives, abrasives, laminates, passive fire protection, PPE, window films, paint protection films, dental, ortho products, electrical connecting, insulation, medical products, car care products, electrical circuits, healthcare, and optical films. That is a very wide, product breadth here. So, yeah, so if they're having a bad time, it's not good for the rest of us. And what just closed? Okay, yay. My Netflix closed. Okay, cool.
Did they have forever chemical exposures or
What's that? Forever chemical?
you know, like Teflon? You know, the chemicals that just last forever.
The so-called PFAS chemicals, PFAS.
Yeah.
I'm unfamiliar with this. Let's see.
I think they do, but that probably was taken care of 10 years ago. I mean,
Oh.
it's not the problem.
Oh wow.
See.
I guess people would sue the pants off of them. Yeah. Oh wow. Okay. Oh wow. I'm unfamiliar with this.
Was that 10 billion or
10
10
billion,
million?
yeah. 10 billion. This is
Wow.
when last year in the summer.
And then they've got the earplug thing. I don't know whether that got settled.
Oh yeah. And I really like those earplugs. I actually have I had like half a dozen pairs. And I've never had a problem with them, but yeah.
The little foam ones or
It's the
covers
yellow,
whole
it's the yellow and olive colored ones. And they sold it to the military and they rated it for a decibel reduction of, I forgot, some number, and it was not designed up to spec at all. And a lot of soldiers have permanent hearing issues. Yeah, here we go. I mean, when you're fighting, when you're, shooting pistols and light rifle rounds, it's one thing. But if you're wearing these earplugs next to mortar and tanks and stuff, and they don't work, that's a disaster.
Yeah, an M777 howitzer is a little loud.
Yeah. Oops.
Hey Warren, are those earplugs, they're not good for like if you go to concerts like loud music and things like that too, right? Because they're like foam. I don't think they're that good.
No,
They're not foam.
they're great for that.
They're plastic. It actually works really well for concerts.
Really?
And I'm a DJ. So, and the cool thing about the 3M one is that they can split in half. So if you have a retarded friend who didn't bring his earplugs, you can actually rip this in half and then give it to the other person. So one earplug pair becomes two, and it still works. So the value prop for them was like, I forgot which side, but like one side was rated for like negative 60 decibels, and the other one was rated for like negative 80. So you could flip it depending on which one you needed. And I couldn't even tell the difference. But for my purposes as a DJ, going to the gun range to shoot shotguns, this was perfect for me. And then for my use case, it was fine. But yeah, if you're, a 11 Bravo next to Abrams and stuff, that's something else.
Like those foam earplugs that sometimes they give out at concert halls or
the
venues.
really cheap ones, yeah.
Yeah, those are terrible, right?
They don't work as well, but they're super cheap and disposable,
Yeah,
and
those
it
cheap
works.
ones.
Yeah.
They work. I mean, anything worse. Cotton balls, you can put a napkin in your ears and get enough to
Yeah.
do a
Or
concert.
your fingers. Yeah.
But
I mean, I screwed my ears this way.
it blows my mind how many people don't wear ear protection at concerts. It blows my mind. And I bring it from my friends, and they're like, no, I want to hear the music. I'm like, they're playing it
my
at
God.
200 decibels. You can hear it fine with earplugs. Or like, you're crazy.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
especially
I always bring earplugs even if I'm going to watch a movie.
Yeah. And you can always get them from security staff and bartenders if you ever go to a venue that
right.
you forgot your pair. Like, tip them an extra $1 if be like, hey, I just need an earplug set, like I forgot mine, and then the bartender will go to the back and just grab you one.
Yeah, they
Right.
cost nothing. The
Yeah,
ones
yeah.
from China cost nothing.
Yeah, so medical staff, security staff, and bar staff always have earplugs because for them it's their job, so they're always
I got packs
Yeah.
to bring to the
yeah, just bring it yourself,
Yeah.
and they're super cheap.
You get a
And
pack of 20 for almost nothing.
right, and once you lose your hearing, it's gone forever. You
Oh my
get
God.
tinnitus,
Yes.
and the fine hairs inside your ear canal, they don't work anymore. So you can't hear the top end and low end frequencies. Like, it's not worth it. I don't know why people don't
I
wear
can't
it.
hear anything above 4,000 in my right ear.
That's tragic.
I screwed up my hearing, and my ears rang forever.
Wow.
Yeah,
tinnitus.
yeah,
But
it's
they
real.
They
Yeah,
just
it's real.
constantly ring.
Sorry to hear that,
Wow.
Dave.
How do you fix that? How do
You
you fix
can't.
that?
Can't do anything.
Nothing?
I'm sure if you're a billionaire, you can have a surgery or something, but
There has been
Wow.
some new research on that showing how you can essentially retrain your brain to not experience as much tinnitus. I just saw an article on that within the last week.
But the hardware inside the ear canal is broken, so it's complicated.
there's things on YouTube and there's apps, and I tried everything. I screwed up my ears in 2018. It's been a long time.
What did you do? What did you do to screw it up?
I don't know.
It's
really chances are it was either headphones too loud or just illness that screwed up, the sinus ear plumbing.
Like that.
Once it's gone, the ear guys will tell you it's gone forever.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I haven't done it recently, but I mean, literally, they can put a device in my ear and tell me where the cutoff is, and I'm below 4,000.
But now they have really good like hearing aid, right? Like really like high tech, good, sophisticated.
But the problem is you need the actual hardware inside your ear to even register those frequencies, and they're really fine. And the problem is
the thing is that they never come back. If you wanted to put in hearing aids for me, they would just have an electronic filter, and they'd cut off everything above 4,000. And the idea is that you don't want the high energy to hit your ears. Again, it's like earplugs. And the high energy stuff comes in it vibrates stuff that you don't really want to vibrate.
Yeah,
there's reasons to protect my ears even now.
But yeah, if you guys ever go shooting, I would really recommend electronic earmuffs. it's the same idea of what Dave just mentioned. Like they're designed to cut off the explosive frequencies that damage your hearing, and it amplifies the spoken frequencies, so you can hear instructions from, say, like your gun instructor and whatnot. So they could typically look like this. And
Never
I
got electronic.
and
I got like 3 pairs of the cheap ones.
Okay, yeah. And then I still double up. So I wear like foam ones inside this. And
Right.
Wow.
Right. That's
because again, I'm a professional. I'm around loud things all the time. Like I cannot afford to lose my
Mhm.
hearing. And life would suck if you
Mhm.
can't hear the good stuff. So yeah. Cool.
Sometimes it's good not to hear
Yeah, that
stuff
too.
too.
Yeah.
Now,
Selective hearing.
what about like what about like, you know, when people wear the that iPhone earbud
Oh, if you want to talk about like
at the
Bluetooth
gym?
issues and like
Yeah,
cancer rates,
like, you know,
the correct answer is yes.
Apple.
Yeah,
I
there is
wear
a
that every day at the gym. Is that bad?
no, if you turn them up really loud. But
uh
the same devices help block out. You wear them in airplanes if you fly a lot. Well, lots of people wear the put them in your ear.
from an EMF perspective, it is damaging for your brain though. Like we're not evolved to have that much radiation in your ear canal. Like separate from the sound issue. So like
wearing like earbuds like you're doing right now, is that
but these are
damaging
wired.
your
No, these are cabled. So
okay.
yeah, so
So
I don't wear my AirPods as much. I wear the wired, you know, pain in the ass ones a lot more now.
So the Bluetooth one is not so good.
They're not dangerous if they've effectively, if you don't turn up the volume really loud. That's the simplified version.
For sound stuff, for the EMF radiation problems, it is a cancer risk. It's a minor cancer risk, but I don't want to gamble with like my brain, so I try to not do it a lot.
You mean like the speakers, the magnets of the speakers?
Oh no, Bluetooth, EMF.
What is EMF?
Oh, I got you.
Electric magnetic frequencies.
What?
Basically, all electric things put out EMF.
Yeah, like that. So is that EMF?
Yeah, and Apple has a horrible product management thing with EMF. Like the smartphone EMF rates are insane. Apple is like one of the worst manufacturers when it comes to this, and Samsung's one of the best. Here, I can show you guys a chart.
Really?
Yeah. Charts.
Getting things regulated for FCC is kind of a trip. I did that on a product one year.
Let's see. This is from 2022. Here's phones that emit the most radiation. Motorola, ZTE, blah, blah, blah. Pixel. Where's iPhone?
Where's Apple? iPhone not in there though.
Here we go. I think this is it. What? EMF? These
I don't see Apple
these are
iPhone in there.
computers. Oh, here's computers. Let's see. MacBook at the user's head. Yeah, don't do that.
Oh, computer. Okay.
Airport Extreme, this is a modem. iPad high. iMac
Wait,
high.
what?
Driving high. Mac Mini high. iPhone headphones, hands-free, flight mode. Apple Display, background. Okay, so the baseline is a measure of 3, and then all of this other stuff is multiples. So don't sleep with your MacBook next to your head.
MacBook. Wow.
Yeah.
800.
What else? Here, smartphone.
There's a lot of talk about that. I mean, we all live sort of like 5G. You know, we're just going to be saturated in 5G.
Right.
Right. Yeah. Smartphone.
But yeah, like sleeping next to your computer, sleeping next to your phone is considered risky.
And
by
all
a
girls
lot of
do that.
people.
All
Not
girls do
everybody, but
but
You know, anybody who's overprotective over their body
yeah.
or the fanatics
I
on the
mean,
internet.
everyone almost like have their phone next to their bed on the headboard. You use it as your alarm, or first thing you
Right.
wake up in the morning, you pick up your phone.
But put it on airplane mode if you can. I
Oh,
do.
really?
Yeah. But
At
what if there's
night when you
what
go to
if there's-
sleep?
Yeah. People say, what if there's an emergency? Call 911. Don't call me.
I don't think it's that bad, but yes, sleep with your device. You know, lots of people go to sleep with their laptop.
Yeah.
They sleep next to their laptop every night.
Yeah.
I don't sleep next to my laptop, but my phone definitely, yes. So
Yeah.
should you just turn it off? Turn it off
It,
with
it should be off, or at least on airplane mode.
turn it off.
Yeah.
Well, the
Turn it
energy
off.
is distance. I mean, it's a distance squared type thing.
Correct.
Recently, there's somebody who's sucking powers out of the power lines over their head. There was an
Wow.
article recently.
Yeah, and
Power lines are a big deal.
yeah,
Wow.
in
I mean,
Fremont,
they can
there's
power a house with whatever they get out of their fence that's designed the right way to suck power out of the wires above your head.
Wow.
yeah, there's a basketball court in Fremont in the Mission Hills area off Pine Street,
Mhm.
and everyone calls it Cancer Park.
What
Uh,
what happened?
there's huge power lines in this one particular
Mhm.
corridor of like rich Fremont, and yeah, it's by Pine Street, and it's called Cancer Park because there's huge power lines. You can hear it buzzing as you play basketball there.
Wow.
And
Oh yeah, you can hear it buzzing. I've
yeah,
lived more. I've
yeah,
ridden my bicycle next to power lines lots.
and
Wow.
there,
We have similar things up in my area, and we have a whole series of parks along the power lines, and it's called Power Line Park.
Yeah.
I
Wow.
walk through there periodically, but I don't linger there.
yeah, it looks like this. So as you're playing basketball,
Uh-huh.
you will hear the buzz, and
Mhm.
the property values here are a little bit lower than the non-power line stuff for a reason.
Mhm.
Yeah.
What about like the telephone poles? Is that a little bit different? Like the utility,
I mean, the voltage
those
is infinitely lower. Yeah, it's not really a concern because it's low voltage.
Okay.
Yeah, or lower voltage. It's not really low voltage, but it's lower.
You can find web pages that tell you all about this.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
not hard to find. Lots of people are afraid.
So
But yeah, there was a recent article, and if you had batteries in your house, you could power your whole house. Maybe even power your Tesla if you designed it right.
yeah, and
But
then this,
you could power like your whole life based on the leftover noise of the power lines above your head.
yeah, and you can look up fun research from
Wow.
Nikola Tesla about his coil and all kinds of related stuff. There's a lot of research into this, and then there's also specialties like HARP, weather modification, that's built off of this. Things can get really crazy with this technology. But yeah, this is not really tradable, so we gotta get back on track here before people start complaining. But yes, where are we? Okay, swaggy stocks. Okay,
Yeah.
back to our show. The kids are trading Tesla, PayPal, Nvidia, AMD. Talking AI. Here's Intel for tomorrow. The Qs, Apple, IBM, Boeing, Trump's thing, Microsoft, Amazon, Meta, SoFi, Russell 2K. What's Hum? Is this what? What's Hum?
Humana.
Oh, okay.
Humana.
I don't know what this is. UNH is healthcare, Netflix. What's Fine? Palantir, Wendy's, Baba, and Net. Okay. A lot of optimism except Palantir and Netflix looks like, but this is maybe too small of a sample size. Okay, so that's what the kids are looking at the moment. Let's get to our fun news articles. Okay. But yeah, I was trying to start like a black swan list. What else would be here? I guess the first nuke would be good. Nuclear threats.
Don't forget asteroid impacts.
Asteroids.
Roy.
What else?
Virus.
Oh God. Versus. Duh. And then what they're calling it, disease.
Well, we could get whole new pandemics from ancient viruses thawing out of the permafrost.
That's right. That's right. Permafrost.
I mean, the Chinese scientists, they're working on like some more
zombie
seriously dangerous
microbes.
viruses too.
That's crime
That's
against
scary.
humanity. They should all be executed. I mean, we just got to put our foots down. Your children will be executed if you play around with this shit.
Yeah.
Mm.
What else
Financial
is
collapse, like banking collapse.
Oh, so derivatives time bomb, right? That's inevitable.
Yeah.
What else?
About Biden re-election.
Well,
Will he make it?
That's a good one.
Will he make it?
Oh,
we'll
social
call it,
unrest.
We'll call it election volatility, civil unrest,
Civil
food
unrest.
production
Crisis. Yeah.
threats, food inflation,
Supply chain disruption.
supply
The
chain.
oil. Yeah.
Yeah, oil in China.
Melting
Yeah.
the ice caps.
This has been disproven, I think, a fair bit, but we'll leave it here. Was it oil, lack of oil, supply issues? Okay, oil and energy. We'll expand that a little bit. Oil and energy supply issues. Shipping lane issues, like with the Red Sea. What else?
Earthquake under TSMC.
Oh yeah, earthquakes.
Oh, the Ring of Fire. Earthquakes in general, yeah.
Earthquakes,
Under
yeah,
TSMC, under California.
And related to that, of course,
Japan.
are tsunamis.
Climate change.
Yeah, climate.
Tsunamis. Ring of Fire. Okay. Did we cover everything? No. I mean, there's more, but okay. Okay, that's a good list. Okay. And what is VIX? 13 something?
Well, that's mark it up. I mean, you keep on saying it's a fear indicator, but really that's just the row, the current month row from the top to the bottom, and it's all described on the
right
chart,
and
right?
it's inversed SPX volatility. Yeah, it's not quite a fear index, but yeah.
Sort of, but yeah.
Okay. Cool. All right, let's we got half an hour we got to power through. All right, here's some cool charts. This is more of a Chinese term. It's called mandate of heaven, if you guys have heard of it. So like the emperor loses favor of the gods and his dynasty will collapse. It's that kind of idea. Let's see, fast forward to the charts. Okay, this is interesting. So this is more about like wealth disparity between all kinds of different traders. So let me expand this a little bit. So this is from the Fed. The blue line is the share of stocks and mutual funds held by the top 10%. And yeah, most of the positions are held by the very elites. And then the middle class holds 10% of all of the assets. So it's kind of intense, like this disparity. And to Rob's point, I think Rob is here, right? Welcome, Rob. And who else joined us? Oh, Alan. Welcome, Alan.
Hey, what's up, dude?
Hola, hola. Let me paste the notes for you guys. Here you go, Alan. All right, cool. Notes are in the chat. But yeah, so we're selling for those of us that are selling volatility, yeah, we're selling a little bit of insurance to the Rolex Protection Club. So yeah, that's a Rob Walkerism right there. Cool. And this is how is wealth divided in the US? This is by sector, which is kind of interesting. So top 1%, most of their wealth are in private businesses, stocks, real estate, and retirement accounts. And then as a percentage.
What's the net asset for the top 1%?
I don't think that shows in this chart. This is just by asset class. And let's see, top 20%, the upper middle class. yeah, a lot of real estate, stocks, retirement accounts, private businesses. But yeah, they have large home mortgages. And then then here is the fourth 20%, similar thing, but smaller, middle class. And then, yeah. So you can see like the blues collapse quickly. And as a percentage, or I guess debt to asset kind of ratios here are get more extreme from below here. But yeah, interesting little breakdown here. Let's go back. Total assets, that makes it a little bigger.
Here's your number.
Yeah, here we go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Total assets held by the top 0.1%, 20 trillion. And COVID was amazing for them. You know, they were very close to the money printer, so they got first use privileges. And if the top 0.1% had kept pace with inflation, it would be 4.3 trillion. But they got 20. So everything above this line, all this would be major grifting, I guess. Wonderful. Crime pays. What can I say? Wealth of the top 400 Americans. Dear Fed, thanks for the free trillions. Love ya, baby, the billionaires. Yeah. So yeah. Nice little power curve here. So yeah. So yeah.
I think the really wealthy people they have a lot of this stuff in funds, in corporations.
Family offices, all
The
kinds
idea
of fun
that,
stuff. Yeah.
I mean, you don't want to be known for the guy who has $1 billion because that makes you a kidnap risk, and everybody wants to sue you, and everybody is going to come out of the works and try and get you to give them a loan.
That's why there's kidnapping insurance.
Yeah, and that's why people have private bodyguards, but it's still, there's lots of reasons not to have the money on your own account.
Correct.
Family wealth. I mean, Asia has sort of the culture of family wealth.
Yeah, there was an interesting clip of Elon's bodyguard.
People borrow the money from the family wealth to bootstrap their businesses instead of getting inheritances.
Oh, that's the bodyguard.
Yeah.
That guy back there. Okay.
Yeah, he's just scanning everything. Like you can see him. He's just looking.
Hmm.
Yeah.
He doesn't dress like a typical bodyguard, like, you know, in a suit.
But wait, let me see. Is he carrying? I can't tell. Oh no, the gun's right here. He is. It's right here.
Can you see?
I can't see. It's
where?
He's right-handed, appendix carry. I can see it right here.
Oh, you can see it right there.
Yeah, that bulge, that's not fat. That is not fat. That is like a single stack 9 mil or something right here. For sure. Yeah, and then you know, magazine here or extra magazine here, and then his ankle will have his spare gun right here or something. And he's probably wearing armor because this is seems a little padded. But yeah. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, bodyguards for sure. Okay, this happened. A stock lending firm had a convenient cyber attack and was rejecting short sales, but the buy gate was wide open. So, you know, no shenanigans here, just a pure cyber attack issue. You guys probably heard about this earlier this week.
Where's this happening?
This was I think US based. Let me see.
I think it was this week.
It's in the US?
New York based Equalend. Yeah, not quite. I think this is a different client, a different level of trader, not really affecting us, but yeah.
So you think this is some kind of a shenanigan, right?
Well, conveniently, right? You know, we'll take your money, but we can't do any sell orders for you. Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
But yeah, this is some custom brokerage house. I'm a little unfamiliar, but yeah. And given who's involved, no surprises here. Like they're just shaking down their clients. Okay. And then I left this here because I'm trying to figure out where are we on the emoji guide to investing, right? I guess it's to figure like which kind of retail trader we're looking at, but yeah.
Shouldn't they have a turd emoji at the bottom of the cycle?
That is true. I mean, for San Francisco, it's in every slice of time, I guess, but yeah.
Roller coaster.
Yeah. And yeah. I mean, if your trading isn't boring, maybe you're doing something wrong. It should be mechanical, math-based, and a little boring. If it's too exciting, your name might be Wani. Okay. All right, let's look at some Q4 corporate data and the RV spending spree. So this is from collective aggregate data, and we're supposed to go down 4.9% for the quarter, but somehow we had a 5 sigma deviation and we grew by 3.3%, which is incredible. So magic is happening, long story short. And let's pivot to other components. Key categories of change are healthcare and surprisingly recreational goods and vehicles. So we're having a new, I guess, RV boom 2.0 post-COVID. And yeah, I haven't shopped for an RV. I mean, I don't understand the RV market, but let's take a look at some RV stocks and see if we can see some confirmation here. RV stocks. What's this? Tour Industries. Does anyone have an RV?
No. I don't understand why anyone would want to own an RV.
Okay, we are seeing correlation to our article. Huge gap up here. Wow, strong inflows. This momentum flow looks like ASML. Let's go to the betting public. Oh, no options. That's okay. What else? What's number 2? LCII. Let's take a look at this contender. Monthly contracts. Oh, very tiny markets. Very bearish at the moment. Okay, this is something else. Okay, this is not really a key sector to trade, but yeah, if you guys want to look more at RV stocks, let me drop this link in the chat. Okay, cool, and I'll put this here as well in our notes. RV stocks. Okay. Here's the hyperlink. Okay, cool. All right. And again, this is a premium article. I just want to look at the headline. UBS head of currency says this has to be the least exuberant all-time high ever. So good stuff. All right. Let's pivot to the collective IOU market. And let's look at Japan. Looking at the Nippon situation. And we've been talking about Japanese rates declining since early last year. So it seems like that has continued. And Bank of Japan, blah, blah, blah. Let's look at the yen right now. So USD to yen rate. And I had a bunch of friends travel there. So they're all saying it's super cheap. So yeah, 158. Sorry, 148. So if it's $100, yeah, 14,078. Yeah. Still very, very cheap to go to Japan. Good stuff. Okay. Japan's gonna do Japanese things. And cool. I think I had Coinbase pulled up earlier here. Yeah, here we go. So yeah, Bitcoin right now is 39.8, and we saw that the crypto miners are not having a good time, but the ETFs themselves are having decent pickups. But yeah, right now we're at 39.8. There might be Ethereum ETF maybe by summertime. And let's look at the monthly rate of change and see how that's looking. So yeah, we're down a little bit, down 8.5 respectively, and Ethereum's down 3.14. Okay. Okay. Good stuff there. And then here's an article. It's really long, but it explains how this one grad student, wait, what the hell? Did this break? Well, she basically proved that the ledger is not anonymous at all. And she crawled the entire ledger and then parsed it against her own transactions and then found her counterparties and all that good stuff. If you guys want to read it, it's really long, but it's a cool article here. And if this link doesn't work, just search the actual title.
But why do we need that? That's like me telling you I did an experiment and the way to open the microwave door is to pull on the handle. I mean, it's written right there in the manual. It says to open the microwave door, you open the handle.
I understand, but some people still believe that it's untraceable, and I just want to debunk that a little bit.
But the manual says it's not changeable in the past. I mean, when I go to Florida and I buy my fencing on the cheap from Gordon, and I pay cash to keep my fence purchases anonymous, and then break back in the night that evening and destroy all of his receipt pads, that's anonymous. This is not changeable. You cannot change the transaction log.
Correct.
If you would, it wouldn't be what it is.
Yeah, but if you lock down somebody's data and charge them $5 million and it goes out as Bitcoin, in theory, would be traceable.
Yes.
I mean, this is, I mean, lawyers have a field day for this in divorce court with forensic accountants. And, you know, moronic husbands think they can hide money from the courts with crypto, and they get a very brutal lesson and a tax bill as well to boot. So, yeah, just stating the obvious, I guess. And our anti-inflation poodle wants to come visit. Okay. But yeah, I mentioned this earlier. There might be a summer ETF for Ethereum, so we'll keep our eye on that. And here's a fun thing Larry sent me. Colorado pastor accused of pocketing 1.3 million in crypto scheme, says Lord told us to. My God, robbing your own, robbing your congregation. Like that
His
is
video was funny. Lord told us to rebuild, to remodel our home with their money.
I would prefer you not take my name in vain. He stole from them. He did not rob them.
Yeah. Yes. Faith-based marketing.
How did he do it?
He did a shit coin and took his church's money.
Yeah, private ICO.
Hey, he's got a really great background. He decided to become a pastor when he was in jail for stealing cars.
Wow.
Really? Oh my God.
Yeah. The story is hilarious. It's all over the mainstream media. People are having a wonderful time with it.
Well, wait. Why would you expect that to be a problem? Isn't one of the most famous authors of the New Testament basically the same story without the incarceration? I'm a public executioner. I have a crisis on a journey, and then I become a proponent for the idea. The Apostle Paul, Road to Damascus, anyone? Maybe we should go read our Bibles.
I don't think he stole any cars, though.
No, he was just beheading people.
I mean, this isn't different. Like, I mean, I can neither confirm nor deny what my former employer is doing, but let me just pull up that chart. Whole Earth coin. Speaking of shit coins. My former employer launched an ICO, and it was a big pump and dump, and he ripped off how many institutions? Yeah, so big pump and dump. Here's the peak, the sell-off, insiders sold off, collapse, and it's back to its intrinsic value of 0.00. Yeah. So yeah. So I've seen this in person.
He bought his house too.
He did. He built 2 custom homes in Palo Alto. So Larry, your guesses are amazing.
Who wrote the Foundation series? It's not Niven.
Asimov.
Isaac Asimov.
Asimov. Okay, so let's pull an Asimov here and zoom out a little bit. And is it possible that all currency is a shitcoin on a large enough scale?
Tyler Durden would agree with that. Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you. War is inflationary. Therefore, you need the lack of checks and balances, like a gold standard. But yeah. Okay. Good times there. Let's pivot to domestic news. Oh my God, we have to cover all of this in 15 minutes. All right, let's look at airlines. Lots of shenanigans here. I just don't know how many F-ups you can have, from airlines to manufacturers to governing bodies. It's been a circus, like a nonstop circus. All right. So here's Alaska Air warns challenging 2024 start, 150 million profit hit from 737 MAX 9 groundings. And let's pull up Alaska.
Yesterday, the Seattle Times published the whistleblower account of how the door fell out.
Oh, really?
Yes.
How did it fall out?
Somebody left the 4 bolts out.
And then the supervisor marked it completed. It's in their logs, if I recall correctly.
Boeing knew about it from day one, just looking at the logs. Somebody fucked up, but they don't want to tell the public about it.
Yeah.
That's bullshit.
At the factory, before they delivered it, they already knew about the problem, didn't care, and sold it anyway.
Now, it's not clear they knew about the problem because it was two separate databases, but all the data was there. Someone just had to look at it.
Yeah.
Wow.
In Alaska today, starting to have lots of outflows as of the beginning of the year. So we're seeing that. So we should see the share price potentially come down as the price gets bid in that direction. Okay, but it's having a nice up day at the moment. And so that's part 1. Let's go to our next. We have many airline articles. We got to expand this a little bit. Okay. So here's the FAA, and if you recall, I think most of the folks on this call saw this, but a couple folks haven't. And the FAA, as part of their diversity program, is going to hire more, was it intellectually challenged people? Oh my God. I still don't understand, but like, yes, the FAA is going to focus on hiring people with severe intellectual disabilities, psychiatric problems, and other mental and physical conditions. Let's go to the New York Post and look at the article itself.
Is that from the Babylon Bee, or is that for real?
This is real. New York Post. This is not satire. I wish it was a satire, Gordon. Look, this is the real deal. FAA. Oh my God. So if you want to not fly in the near future, I would fully support your decision. You know, you know, if anything, make sure your airline carrier of choice is flying at least an Airbus. You know, you're gonna make Linda happier. So yeah. But yeah, so that's the FAA, and let's see what else they're doing. So they've pulled the plugs on the MAX production expansion. They want it in compliance with the original design, blah blah blah, and the price is collapsing. Okay, let's go to Boeing. I did see on the heat map for the day, Boeing is having a bad time. And I was waiting to get back in because they've had a nice rebound. So I do like that they're now suffering. So And then we have earnings coming up. What day? Let's double check. 131, so 6 days. Okay, so that's next week. So yeah, but we're still seeing decent inflows though. So maybe the short will be short-lived. Or sorry, the bearish momentum. But yeah, but today it's very bearish, 1.4. So we have 150% more puts than calls. So a lot of serious wagers against them. And I didn't realize they were losing so much money. They have a negative 42 PE.
Oh, good.
Yeah, bizarre. Okay.
Didn't they just have a case yesterday where the nose wheel of a Boeing 777 fell off the aircraft on the runway in Florida or something?
Oh, wow. You weren't kidding.
Okay, it was a 57.
Maybe their climate change was acting up, you know? All right. Okay, and here is the coup de grace. Here is Scott Kirby, United Airlines CEO. And it turns out he's a sodomite and drag queen. This is Scott Kirby.
Really?
Yeah. This is the guy in charge of the United Airlines empire. The last thing you want is a 200-pound, 6'3" white guy dancing in high heels. But yes, this is the guy in charge of United Airlines.
Oh my God.
Okay, that is revolting. Let's move on and look at their charts. Oh my God. So yes, as if you didn't have enough reasons to hate United Airlines. But yeah, it's trading very well. It has decent inflows. Yeah, betting public is a fan, at least at the moment. Yeah, pretty bullish for today, somewhat. Yeah. But yeah, so that's United. Yeah, it's just insane. The airlines are insane. And then to Gordon's point, there is a Babylon Bee article, at least for the In-N-Out here, that just closed. So yeah, the Oakland In-N-Out, this is the first In-N-Out that's ever shut down. Yeah. And they left Oakland to move to Gaza where it's safer. Oh my God. Life is stranger than fiction. It's nuts. But yeah. And then Sports Illustrated, because of all the fat people on the covers, people stopped buying them. And then Sports Illustrated has fired all of their staff, if you guys saw that headline a couple days ago. And then
Epic.
Yeah.
I saw the headline, but then I heard someone else tell me that it was a license pullback. That whoever owned the trademark had recalled the license to use it from who they had licensed it to.
Right, because the licensee stopped paying. And then they fired all of the staff.
Well, I thought they were also accused of using Chat GPI to write a lot of their articles.
Oh, I didn't know about that. Let's see.
Chat GPT, yeah. Bylines on some stuff so that way people that were not supposed to win awards won awards. And when they won the awards under different names, they went and changed they modified the award and re-engraved it to give it to the ESPN authors. And now ESPN is having to give back a bunch of awards.
I hadn't heard that.
It sounds complicated, but here's one source. Yeah, let me drop this in the chat if you guys want to read more about it. Okay. Okay. We kind of mentioned this briefly with Minnesota manufacturing and mining. No, Minnesota mining and manufacturing. The US PMI, the manufacturers inflation index. Well, no, inflation index. Let's see, is below. This is the Euro one. It has soared in January amid manufacturing renaissance, but let's see. Australia's PMI improves on the back of expansion manufacturing. Japan composite improved. India improved. Europe disappointed. UK improved. US spiked with major jump in manufacturing, but Average prices for goods and services, sorry. Average prices charged for goods and services also rose at the steepest rate since last May. So there's an inflationary element to this. Okay. Won't want to get too much into the weeds, but yeah. We could have more pain for manufacturers, which is not good for Main Street jobs that are downline. Okay, cool. Oh, and of course, we love talking about Las Vegas. And we'll pull up our watch list in just a second. But yes, another red flag for inflation, Las Vegas table limits. And this will change the gambling experience quite a bit. So let's see what's really happening. Okay, so blackjack is changing. So the revenue earned from blackjack stayed high, even as casinos offered worse rules to players, such as paying out 6 to 5 when a player receives a blackjack, rather than the traditional 3-2. So that's a loss of how much? How do we calculate this? So if I hit blackjack, I'm traditionally paid what? 150% based on this, right? 2 divided by 3. This is 5 divided by 6. So I'll get paid out 83%. Wait, am I doing this right?
That's inverted.
Invert.
Yeah, it's 20%, isn't it?
It's a loss of 20%.
16% or so.
Okay. So you're losing 16% of your blackjack chicken dinner values. Or somewhere near there. Okay. And they're doing away with low table limits. So you won't find the cheap games anymore. Even lotto tickets are seeing prices rise. Okay. Georgia is experimenting with the discontinuation of $1 lottery tickets. Wow. Okay. That's interesting. Let's pull up our watch list, affectionately called Corona Chan. Okay, here we go. So here's all of the Vegas stocks. Let's just look at a couple big boys. Sands and maybe like Caesars or something. So let's look at the Sands group. How have they been performing? Not the greatest. Okay, so they're trading right at the 200 and 500-day moving average. How's inflows? Not great. It's been sell-off territory for a long time and just treading water. CZR, this is the Harrah's group, or Harrah's/Caesars group. My preferred gaming conglomerate, but yeah, lots of sell-offs, not a great time. Here's MGM, which is sort of the biggest show in town, or at least in Las Vegas. They're doing a little bit better, some inflows. Let's go to the other side of the ocean and look at Macau. MLCO, this is the Stanley Ho gambling empire, and they're not really having a great time with Beijing micromanaging them. So also trading below its 200 and 500-day moving average and having a volatile time overall. So yeah, Vegas stocks are a little bit volatile. Okay. Interesting there. So yeah. Okay, let's go next. No surprises here. The Democratic Socialists of America have a financial crisis. And the DNC did, I believe, in the mid 2015-ish range. And Hillary Clinton, I believe, bankrolled them for 20 million, I believe, if I remember if I remember that campaign. But yes, socialists mismanaging money. That's a tale as old as time. So we don't have to dive too deep into this, but yeah, that's happening. Let's get to the next item. US gun demand hits highest level in 8 months. And we've looked at gun stocks all the time, but for some reason they don't trade well with industry news at all. So it's just bizarre. But yeah, there is high demand here. So I am selling, I mean, I have too much, but I am selling a G42 that's brand new in box and unshot. If you guys are looking, it's a single stack 380. It's perfect for concealed carry. It's this gun. It's very small. It's a mini Glock 17 in 380. It's 7+1 rounds. I've had it for a long time. Like I've never shot it. Like I have I've other stuff, but yeah, this is worth about $2,000 at the moment. So I'm trying to unload that so I can do more China shorts. All right, cool. We mentioned this briefly, Raytheon's having some problems with missile production snarled by supply chain issues. Let's take a look and we'll pull up the stock in just a second. Okay, let's see. So this would affect what? 625 standard missile, 6 missiles. Does this also affect Tomahawks? No, SM6s and MK48 torpedoes. Okay. And let's look at RTX. We haven't looked at defense stocks in a little bit. Yeah, they've been trending upward slowly. We're dancing right at the 200-day moving average, but the overall 500-day trend is still a nice positive slope. I mean, war is good for business, and we're seeing strong inflows and pickup overall. We can't even see the zero line on the y-axis here, so overall business is good, and this is just a slight supply chain crunch for only one part of their vast product suite. And overall, very bullish pickup, 0.308, 25,000 calls against less than 8,000 puts. So war is still profitable, unfortunately. And war is still a very profitable racket. Okay, cool. Let's look at other Fed expenditures for the illegal criminal elements. So the latest tally is the Fed spent $20 billion on migrant refugee assistance. And let's see what these components are. So transitional and medical services, refugee support services, survivors of torture, unaccompanied children, I don't know what this is, REA contingency fund, anti-trafficking in persons programs, CR emergency supplements, Division M emergency supplemental. Wow, okay. And kudos to Texas and Oklahoma for sticking it to Biden and defending a key choke point in the southern border. So we'll see how that shakes out. And if this really turns into an American Civil War, that will be very exciting for all parties involved. So we'll see how that goes. Pivoting to local news, besides In-N-Out, we're seeing a ban for gas-powered lawn equipment. And Mr. Hair Joe himself has also expanded this to include power generators. But I think that kicks in, I think, next year. California bans generators. I just got a Honda 2000 generator, so I'm super, or it's a 2200 series, but I just got it, so I'm super excited. Let's see. In 2028, we'll see the full ban. Let's see. Okay, so by 2028, everything will be, 2024, off-road engines meet zero emission standards. Okay, and then all portable generators will be banned by 2028. So we have a 24 cutoff and a year 28 cutoff. Okay, that is going to be detrimental. But yeah, yeah, that's nuts. Okay, pivoting to real estate, let's look at home sales. And we got to let's look at the home sales related ETF first, ITB. So we got a lot of manufacturers here for building materials, paint, and all kinds of fun stuff. And yeah, a bit of an uptick here, strong inflows, still very bullish. And the betting public is shorting the crap out of this. Interesting. Okay, someone knows something, huh? And these are serious wagers in the expensive Delta category. And let's go back to our article. So yes, new home sales rose over 4%. And let's see. Biggest jump since December or last December. And so that's new home sales, but for existing home sales, let's see. Sorry, new home sales up 4.4%. But the median home prices has fallen to 413K. And cost of financing is still astronomical. So mortgage application rates are still not great overall. And where's the secondary homes data? Here we go. Okay. Let me expand this a little bit. Okay, so red is new home sales, and then green is existing home sales, median price change. So here is the gap. So red is new family homes down 14% year over year, and then existing homes up 4.4. Either way, millennials will not be able to afford to buy homes, myself included, unfortunately. I have to wait for the currency reset. Okay, no worries. Okay, that's home sales. Let's pivot to tech news. We kind of talked about this earlier, or we hinted about this earlier. Post-merger, Microsoft has just basically brought the axe to most of Activision, headquartered in Irvine. These are famous games, at least for folks of my age and a little bit younger. World of Warcraft, Diablo, StarCraft, Call of Duty. Yeah, kind of crazy, but yeah, speaking of layoffs, where is Activision on this list? I guess 1900 would only be like somewhere right here, but yeah, okay. And speaking of layoffs, I've been reading a lot of the layoffs subreddits just for fun. And I feel really fortunate that, you know, I can sell volatility and short the market. And I'm not like any of these folks who are just pissing and moaning all day about job losses. But this tech issue is a little bit different in a sense that, you know, unlike, you know, the dot-com boom and bust of 1999 and 06, 08, and currently, we didn't have generative AI as a backup plan. And a lot of corporate managers are really looking at that as a viable option to keep human capital resources or human resource expenditures at a consistent low going forward. So yeah, I've been reading a lot of these entries, and it's just bad news all across the board. A lot of these are techies and whatnot, and like I really like this article. Tech could be a bloodbath, total bloodbath for the next 5 years. So this guy compares it to the Bhutan Death March, and yeah, so it's really due to like, you know, a lot more AI-based solutions and really getting away from human input. And, you know, we're seeing this all across the board. So, you know, learn to code maybe isn't really the solution. I mean, maybe people have to really like expand their skill set, myself included, but thank God I have a portfolio at least. So yeah, this has been quite the, you know, peek into layoffs. And if you guys want to take a look at this, let me drop this in the chat as well. Kind of fun stuff. And let's pull up our master layoffs database, which is layoffs.fyi. And we've been tracking this for a long time. So let's do the numbers. 165K here in 2022. 165, here we go, here, 165 plus 262, and then 2004 plus 24. So that's 451,000 white collar tech jobs that have disappeared. And most of that is regionally centered in the Silicon Valley for the most part. And yeah, this will not slow down at all. And we're seeing some big figures. So we saw Activision get wiped out here. SAP laying off 8,000. That's a lot. Big ERP system too as well. Riot Games, this is League of Legends. That's optimistic. Even TikTok laid off 60 people. Wayfair. I mean, oh, I had an interview with Zinus, the Korean mattress maker the other day. And they're also having problems among other things. So they compete with Wayfair and whatnot. So yeah, folks are tightening their belts and all kinds of problems. Google's laying off another 1,000 here. Twitch, that's been ongoing. Uber Freight. Oh, hello. I guess Uber big rigs didn't quite work out very well. So yeah, all kinds of shenanigans. Let me drop this in the link if you guys want to take a look as well.
I was going to note that I had never even heard of the Wayfair site until I saw one of their TV ads.
Oh yeah, and Wayfair has connections to human trafficking. That is above the scope of this conversation, but that is a dark rabbit hole if you want to take a go, like just take a look. Okay. So that's our components there. Let's go to international news where we have a lot of fun headlines. All right, let's look at this nice map. 2024 has crazy elections all across the board. I believe like half of the countries of the planet are having elections this year. And I'm sure subversion agents from all sovereignties are trying to colonize and expand their spheres of influence. But where's the map? Did that not load? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Oh, here we go. Okay. Purples are presidential elections, parliamentary elections, legislative, presidential, and legislative. So if it has a color, it has an election. That's almost everybody. Holy cow. So a lot of power grabs happening. Okay. And what's in the chats? Oh, Chaos had to leave. Okay, no worries. What is this from Dave? War update 5 hours ago. Let's see. US secretly alerted Iran ahead of Islamic State terrorist attack. Oh, wow.
I don't see anything on that page.
Yeah, it's not loading. The news is already, it has a short shelf life, I think. Okay, that's okay. We'll go to the next item. Okay, let's talk uranium. Global nuclear power generation has hit an all-time high in 2025. So we're seeing a resurrection of a lot of nuclear power plants because obviously solar and wind don't really work consistently. With that, not much meat here. Let's just jump to CCJ. And let's look at uranium. Okay, uranium, yeah, it's been a very nice, steady crawl upwards and seeing some is this a plateau? Maybe. But yeah, let's look at the betting public. And yeah, it's been very bullish. Holy cow. People are definitely buying the dip today, down 3%. People are going long. Interesting. Good stuff. Okay. And okay, fun car stuff. So Porsche had a European IPO and it's not been a great result. So this was the article from September. So yeah, Porsche's IPO there debuted in Frankfurt. Okay, so that's the time capsule. And let's go to today. Porsche's Ferrari dream shattered as early buzz fades. So again, that was from September, and today that IPO is down a third of value. And is it even like I'm not familiar with the European IPO market in terms of their lockout procedures, but this can't be good either for that. So yeah, again, we can't really trade this, but I thought it was a good, interesting educational moments here. So Porsche falls even below its IPO price. So yeah, quite the disaster. And I saw a great comment.
Just like tech companies go through that routine too. So I'm just kind of curious.
Yeah, that happens a lot with companies in the US.
Yeah. Most
of them are below their IPO price within a year or a year and a half after they go public.
Correct. And there's a good comment. All these IPOs are a signal that the billionaire class wants to extract as much wealth as possible before the Great Reset collapse. And then here's a throwback to the Great Depression. A lot of luxury car owners who weren't ruined by the Great Depression permanently parked their luxury cars because of public antipathy towards the rich. By 1940, some had sold in the mid 5,000 range were available for $100. And if you guys remember the 1929 crash, I remember like an image of one guy holding a sign that he's trying to sell his car for $100. Where's that picture? I think we just passed it. This one right here. Yeah, this picture. $100 will buy this car. Must have cash. Lost all on the stock market. And this must have cost thousands of dollars in 1929 currency for like the Model Ts and whatnot. But yeah, it's happening again. Let me just copy this image and post it onto our notes. Yeah. Cool. All right, pivoting to Europe, we've had almost a media blackout on the farmers' revolt. And this has been started up in Holland first and the Netherlands, and it's spanning to France. So there's been incredible footage here of this. Like there's thousands of tractors in Paris and around there. And they're like, here, we can go to YouTube and find the footage. And they're pumping manure and whatnot onto the parliamentary buildings. It's hilarious. France.
Sounds kind of similar to what happened in India.
Yeah. The peasant revolts. So yeah. So they're blocking roads, dropping off manure at key locations. Man, the French know how to protest. That's amazing. But yeah, they're getting screwed over by their representatives. So, kudos to them. And
so there's a rail labor strike.
Where?
I don't know what's happened in the last 3 days, but
US?
that's a big deal.
Oh, okay.
In Germany.
Oh, okay.
Isn't the thrust behind all these protests about global warming and the European push toward carbon zero and the impact on the farmers?
Yeah, it's multi-pronged, but yes, yeah.
Rail is a big deal because it's all the supply chain, and the truckers are on the edge too.
And here's a big survey in France. 7 in 10 are opposed to continued immigration. And we looked at the fertility rate last week, and France is the one exception in Europe for a 1.7 fertility rate because there's so many Muslims there that have been populated the country. And it's it's the I mean, they came back to finish the job, from whatchamacallit, when the siege of Vienna was what, 1670, I forgot. But yeah, the Islamic caliphates have always wanted to take over Europe. This is not like a conspiracy theory, but they finally looks like they're doing it without any shots fired. But yeah. Okay, so that's France. Not really tradable, but good to know. And then, oh yeah, my new guilty pleasure has been the espionage subreddit. I didn't know this even existed, but there's been some good stuff here, actually, ironically. Is this populated by spies? I don't think so, but there is some interesting like current events here. So let's see, blah, 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 blah. This is the best one. North Korean radio station, known for sending coded messages to spies, goes silent. This is fun shit here for me. And some morons don't understand why. So what this means is probably they might have like their final orders, or they switch to different channels, but something's happening at least. And I actually wrote a decent rebuttal. Where did it go? Oh, I think they deleted it. The moderators here are a little different. But anyway, fun stuff like that's happening. So you know, North Korea is basically China's junkyard dog. You know, it does their master's bidding. And they can't do anything without their blessing. So and then I found some better explanations if you guys are curious. I put this in the notes. And this guy does a lot of like shortwave radio type stuff and was reporting on it. So I thought this was kind of cool. But yeah, that's the one hole I have in like I guess my prepper stuff. Like my comms really suck. So this year I gotta figure out ham radio and whatnot. So that's on my to-do list. Okay, cool. And then pivoting to other fun international stuff, I found this cool chart. Life satisfaction in the EU. So highest is Austria, Finland, Poland, Romania, Belgium, and the Netherlands. And on the bottom, Bulgaria, Germany, Greece, Latvia, Croatia, Hungary, and Slovakia. So kind of interesting. And we got a pretty international audience here. So here's France for Linda. Flav is Czech, right? So, or Czech-ish. So that's here. Who else is here? That is
interesting that Germany is that low, considering that they're like unified, their economy's up there, stuff like that too.
But they're always reminded of their sins of World War I and World War II. So they'll never be allowed to stand up tall and upright ever again. Right? So yeah. They're neutered, just like the Scandinavians, right? You know, all the Viking lands are all ruled by strong masculine women. I wish it weren't true. It really is. Like there's been photos of like all of the defense ministers of Scandinavian countries, and they're all women. Like come on. Like men and women are different. Like is that controversial? Oh my God. Okay. This is horrific. Okay. Okay, this was an interview of North African migrants. Okay, let me take off my.
Like, let's go. Some of them did not screaming. It's like they wanted to be raped, you see. She also grabs you see, no more
like
crying.
she's enjoying it, you know, even though she isn't, but it's like she's enjoying it.
Do you think it's right? Do you think it's right to rape?
Yeah, it's wrong. Yeah, it's wrong.
What about the consequences of what you're doing in terms of how that affects the
Exactly.
person that's raped?
Yeah, the consequences, we look at that all the time, you know, because it happens, she might scream, you know, people might wake up. A lot of people.
I'm not just talking about, I'm talking about the emotional effect, the physical effect it has on
Yeah. Sometimes we know that we might rape her and wake up tomorrow with viruses ourselves, like HIV, you know.
What about regretting what you've done to the girl? I also do regret about it, because if she fell pregnant, what will be that baby's father? Who will be that baby's father? But what about her personal feelings?
Yeah. Okay. So
They don't care.
exactly. It is insane. And the rape capital of the planet is Malmo, which is in Sweden. And rape was not even a thing until they started importing North Africans like crazy. So yeah. You can call me racist all day long and I'll take that label. But yeah, like yeah. This is why I own guns. Okay. So yeah. Rape is not okay, in case these mofos didn't get the message. Okay. More international news. Best and worst places for expats. Let me expand this table a little bit. Okay, cool. Number one is actually Mexico. It is the highest concentration of American expats. You know, it's close and very friendly overall. Number two is Spain, Panama, Malaysia, Taiwan, Thailand, Costa Rica, the Philippines, Bahrain, and Portugal. So, you know, all slam dunks. And we talked last week about Colombia and how guys on Tinder there are losing their heads. So yeah, like don't go to Colombia. They don't have infrastructure for tourism like everybody else. Bottom 10, Japan, New Zealand, Malta, Italy, South Africa, Germany, South Korea. I don't know who this is. Norway and Kuwait.
Turkey.
Turkey?
Turkey.
They spell it weird? Okay.
Yeah. I'm surprised that Japan is at bottom 10.
Well, yeah, I mean, xenophobia, right? Like they've always been anti-Westerner to a certain extent. Like it's a weird inferiority complex. Like they love them and they hate them, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right, right.
And then South Africa is understandable. Like they're butchering white farmers every single day. Like 50 white farmers die every single day. And then South Korea is a little bit surprising. And it's mainly because the high cost of living, the pressure, the unfriendliness, even though infrastructure is amazing and the women are beautiful, like it's still complicated. And then Kuwait's the worst one. And then Norway is really hard because it's also expensive, it's really cold, and people are unfriendly. So yeah. And then in the middle is everybody else. So like Bali and Indonesia is right here. Alan knows this guy. We have a mutual friend from Don's Introductions that he loves going to Malaysia. And it's number 4 on the list. I see why.
Wow. Malaysia.
We have to call that
Thailand's up there.
Yeah, Thailand, you know, the go-to, right? I mean, we've been in Thailand since World War II. No, sorry, not World War II, since the Vietnam War. So a lot of infrastructure.
And it's cheap.
Yeah, it's cheap, and you know, the land of smiles. But yeah, Philippines is a shit show. Like I traveled there for the first time in 2018, and it was a disaster everywhere. Like a trip to the airport, just to traverse 20 kilometers takes like 5 hours. Like I don't know how to explain that. Like the traffic jams like are a different level. But yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's mind-blowing. Like from a logistics point of view, like I just can't deal with like third world retardedness plus like an islander mentality. Like I really want to like the Philippines. I have a lot of Filipino friends, but it's just so hard to survive there. Like I don't know, it's just weird. Let's see, China's number 26 here. All right. Oh, we're over time. Holy cow. All right, we gotta rush to Chinese news. Okay, sorry. Saudi Arabia opens up its first ever liquor store for non-Muslims only. So fun stuff there. Shout out to Rob here for his amazing one-liners. So we know tech is deflationary and war is always inflationary. And this just reminds me of the moment we got off the gold standard when we were in the middle of in the middle of the Vietnam War. We got off the gold standard in 1971 when Nixon talked about that. And yeah, when you want to kill a lot of people, it costs a lot of money, and debt is the best way to finance that. And French general turned president Charles de Gaulle had a great speech in 1971 against this, saying that you know, the US dollar has basically defaulted and blah blah blah. It's an amazing speech. Let me find it. De Gaulle speech 1971. Speech. It's about gold. Oh, 65. My apologies. But yeah, let me throw this in the chat here. So yeah, he predicted the house of cards, that's the US dollar, that would fall. So yeah. All right, we gotta rush to Chinese news. Holy cow. We talked about this. We're in how many theaters of war from the US side? I can't even keep count, but you can add Somalia to the list. So that's Mogadishu and all its retarded pirate cousins. Red Sea blockage leads to out of control shipping rates. Charter rates hit $100,000 per day. And that's because they have to detour around Africa and go through the Cape of Good Hope and whatnot. Like it is a shit show. So if you thought supply chain logistics were bad now, just wait 6 months. All right, we got to rush. People can't say no to money, and people are still doing deals under the table to ship Russian oil. And so UK underwriters are insuring basically Indian tankers, and other folks, but it's mainly the Indians and the Chinese that are doing the backdoor deals. So yeah. All right, let's get the Chinese news. Okay, lots of fun stuff. Let's look at the RMB rate really quick. And again, the unofficial ceiling is they will never let the Chinese RMB devalue more than the Hong Kong dollar, because that's they cannot look cheaper than the Hong Kong dollar out of pride. So right now it's about 7.14. All right, let's look at the Hong Kong dollar version. I think this is 7.3. Last I checked. 7.8. Okay, cool. And let's look at the Shanghai Composite. So despite the reduced reserve requirements, they cannot still hit that 3,000 mark on the Shanghai exchange. So let's zoom out a little bit. Okay, here's the 1-year chart. So trillions pumped in. I forgot the exact count, but it's only gone up a little bit. And this is the last hurrah. So after this, crash. So we'll see how this goes. But I'm just grateful that they're giving me more wood to build a higher scaffold to hang themselves with. So that's the gist of it. But let's go to the exact articles and look at the details. Okay. So yes, they cut the reserve requirement ratio. And let's see. So this was to provide 1 trillion RMB or $139 billion in the form of long-term liquidity to the market. That was the goal, and they still couldn't hit the 3,000 watermark that they need. This is very much expected given it is primarily for liquid injection for the Chinese New Year's, which tends to see system liquidity tighten as large-scale cash withdrawals are made. And that's if you can even make cash withdrawals. It's just not possible for like large amounts for Main Street folks, unless you have connections. The banks won't even see you for the most part. Okay, and let's look at some other stuff. Will the growing China crisis affect the world? And the correct answer is you betcha. All right. And let's see. This is a slightly different index. I don't look at this one. It's the CSI 1000. I look at the Shanghai one overall, and they have a CSI 300 as well. We don't have to get too much into the weeds, but effectively for the top 300 firms, they've seen a collapse from the high of 2021 to 2024 of 44.5%. It's been a horror show. I am so glad I was born on this side of the ocean. And looking at labor rates, it's gone astronomical. The population dividend is going the other direction. So yes, you're seeing rates go up to $8 per hour for factories. And why not just pivot to Malaysia, Thailand, India, Vietnam, and the Philippines? It just makes more sense. And foreign direct investment is at an all-time negative low. And it's the end of an era. I probably experienced peak China when I was living in Macau, in the 2010s.
I just saw a news report on this last night on NHK. They're talking about how I think 63% of Japanese companies in China are planning to reduce their exposure to China because China keeps doing things like arresting corporate executives and such.
Absolutely, and Japan has also established a fund to fund the transition out of China because they want to just de-risk China operations altogether as a country. But yeah, this happened. So I think Dave brought this up earlier. But yeah, just the Chinese pink pigs just are harassing people for no reason. They were harassing this piano player in a UK airport, I believe. Was it an airport, or is it just like a main street?
Yeah, it's an airport.
Yeah.
There's lots and lots of videos from these guys.
Yeah. So it's just it's nuts. Like I don't know how their foreign affairs departments are being managed, but stirring up shit with Westerners is not good for business, and they're still acting like punks. So like
they're gonna get beaten. I mean, there's a lot of people who I'm not gonna put up with that shit.
Yeah. So idiots. So yeah. And I think they have the moral high ground. Like, kiss my ass. Okay. All right. And then here's an update on youth unemployment. They've been gaming this in a huge way. So I found out that basically 84 million Chinese nationals make $1 an hour in the gig economy for food delivery. So the equivalent of like Uber Eats and DoorDash. They're making no money, basically. These are pure starvation wages. And they're also fudging the numbers by counting if you do 2 hours of work in a year, you're counted as employed. So that's just ridiculous. And we do know that ageism is a serious problem in China. So for the tech side, if you're over age 35, you get a pink slip. Like, they don't want you. So it's ridiculous. And their recent GDP figures of 5.2% is a joke, because we just know it's a joke. But yeah, let's see, 900 million people make less than 2,000 RMB a month. We know that already. And yeah. All right, pivoting to more factory news, Foxlink, which is sort of related to Foxconn. I mean, they're actually brothers. This is Terry Guo from Taiwan, who was the independent party for the recent election. His brother runs a similar style business called Foxlink, and both of them have in unison laid off a lot of people, and they're calling it 6-month leaves and extended vacations. And even Taiwanese people can't just have civil conversations with Beijing or Shanghai even. So it's just a nightmare all across the board. And we've talked about bait and switch issues with real estate, where in the pre-sales process, you have to cough up massive deposits and then take out massive bank loans to buy properties that aren't even built yet. And folks are getting shafted because the developers are running away with the money. We're seeing the same thing happen in the auto sector. So people are buying cars, and then entire dealerships are disappearing overnight. Showrooms are emptied, and all of the actual cars just disappear. And this guy's crying in his car and says like, yeah, he found out that the CEO of his dealership just disappeared with his mistress. And then, he wanted to buy a car for the new year, and then try to, work for Didi and just make a living that way. And it's just not possible. And I found an older article, luckily, this is still on someone's server, but this was a shout out to China's car dealership success in 2011. And they call it the 4S car dealerships, where they cover sales, service, spare parts, and customer satisfaction. And while we're used to this in America, in China, this was a very fragmented marketplace. Like, the same guy you buy things from for the car itself is not the same guy that can even do service or even spare parts. So the 4S revolution kind of brought that all in, like, a vertically integrated model, which was novel for China. And this was at its peak in the 2010s. And now all of these type of dealerships are disappearing overnight and running away with the money and the cars. Like, it's insane. It is pure insanity. Oh, this was the DPRK thing we talked about. I think my comment got deleted, but I pasted it here. So I mean, I've reported this before with you guys, but just to summarize, I wrote that I'm more of a China expert, but I follow DPRK news because it's an easy China proxy. And as we know, the rocket force has revealed to be a sham and a giant grifting project. Winnie the Pooh has massive civil unrest in all provinces to deal with. He has a serious liquidity crisis as trusts and banks implode nonstop. He has massive infighting between his own junta while dealing with repeated sabotage of his operations and dissent fueled by the Shanghai holdouts. Plus, he has third-generation princelings super pissed at him for killing their cash cows across various industries. China can only invade Taiwan in March or October based on the tides, and the USSA will not allow for any monkey wrenches right before a key election. So a lot of signs point to a desperate March invasion. It won't work, but that's not the point. Xi needs to unite the factions and buy some time to live a little longer. He's scared as shit right now and drinking himself into a nightly stupor with bottles of Maltai. Yeah, go ahead, Dave.
I'm just laughing.
Yeah. So, you know,
I mean, calling him a drunk, that crossed the line for me.
yeah, no, he is. Yeah. And then
He's not drinking bottles of Molotov.
no, Multi is the Chinese liquor.
Yeah, it's nasty ass liquor, dude.
You can run diesel engines on that. 100%. Yeah, it's the proof is insane. Let me see.
Well, there's also a reason why they call shochu. In Chinese, it's actually hujiao.
Yeah, it's 106 proof. For the higher concentrations, it's 53% alcohol.
By Joe.
Yeah, by Joe.
Yeah,
It's funny because Chinese people either they're like there's a lot of folks that are allergic to alcohol. Like they lack the enzyme to process ethanol. And it's funny when they drink, you know, even a little bit of alcohol, they get wasted instantly. So you have like people who can drink a lot and people who can drink nothing. And one of the requirements for being like a commie official is massive drinking and massive smoking. Like it's a non-negotiable, like you have to. And you can imagine this retard Warren, you know, in Macau next to my uncle, you know, I don't eat meat, I don't drink, I don't smoke. Like I'm like just like the retarded nephew, you know, next to his super commie uncle. And it's just hilarious when I go to like their banquets and whatnot. And I'm just sitting there, you know, I can only understand half of their Mandarin because they're all talking weird shit. And it's just hilarious to see this in person. But yeah.
Hey, Pepsi AC it, Warren.
No,
That's all you need.
It's not that I don't drink, but I refuse to drink multi. It's disgusting. Like you might as well drink, like anything is better than multi. It's revolting. But yeah. Okay.
Dude, I'm kind of going through all the crap. There's a $300 bottle of multi in Costco in Hawaii right now, and I'm debating on whether to try it just on a whim.
I have 2 bottles at my house if you want. It was a gift that I never gifted, but we could pop it open if you want. It's disgusting.
Yeah, we could try it. We could try it this weekend.
And ironically, multi is counterfeited like crazy in China. So even Chinese tourists will buy multi in America and bring it back because that's a guarantee that it's the real deal. It's like like Chinese fraud is just so universal.
Yeah, it's way
It's
out there.
ridiculous.
Yeah, it's way out there. Totally agree.
Yeah. Okay. And we've mentioned this in the preview. The solar industry is collapsing in China. And right now, wafer material prices have dropped like a rock. And the price per watt is 1 RMB right now. 1 RMB per watt. That wipes out everybody, including themselves. It's game over. It's game over for the solar industry. And eventually we'll see that, this will hit American shores. And let's look at the basket of solar companies, which is TAN. So this is the ETF, and this has not been great anyway. But with the collapse of the manufacturing sector, this bleed out will continue. And I would love to get Mary Helen's opinion if she pops up in the near future. But yeah. So there's First Solar as well. That's a huge chunk of this ETF. There's Enphase out of Israel. It's a little bit different. They don't source Chinese parts quite to this extent, but it can't be good for them either as this global collapse happens. All right, we're running out of time, but Chinese bans against Tesla have continued because the recording features with Teslas are so incredible. And phone conversations are also have different privacy regulations. Effectively, they're Chinese officials are fearful that their calls are being recorded by Elon Musk, and that is a legitimate concern. And then at the street level, everyone's flocking to public libraries in China. Like the moment they open, they hit capacity, and it's because they have nowhere else to go. They're too poor to work at Starbucks and not buy a drink there. So just go to libraries. They apply to jobs. Kids are trying to study for civil service exams. Unemployed folks trying to find jobs. The older folks that are over 35, they can't find jobs, so they don't want to, cry at home, so they cry at the library. It's really sad. So, is this a canary in the coal mine for America? I think so. So yeah. if you know any techies are being laid off, like they need to learn to sell volatility quick. So hopefully they can get their act together. But yeah, this is from Larry. Looks like a paywall, but effectively Jack Ma is buying up Alibaba's share like crazy at the moment. And I think this is not a voluntary decision. I think he's being ordered to do so. And Jack Ma has been divesting for a long time. So for him to do this is kind of an odd thing. So let's pull up our Chinese stocks and look at our favorite tickers. So here's Alibaba itself. It looks like the $1 trillion injection has lost its effect because the sector is collapsing all over again. So here's the overall sector. And here's Alibaba, the big boy. Pinduoduo is the Beijing-aligned e-commerce side that's been a little bit insulated from a lot of these issues. But the quantitative easing has been selectively channeled to, seems like, more Shanghainese-based firms, just to appease the Shanghainese oligarchs and commies. But yeah, as you can see, it's a lot of red here. And $1 trillion got spent really quickly, and the market just swallowed it up. So yeah, let's look at Alibaba. Net inflows are resuming their decline. Net outflows are resuming their sell-offs. And yeah, $1 trillion didn't do anything. So let's go to Chinese large cap stocks, which is FXI, and this is still on a very steady collapse, right on schedule. And let's look at KWeb. This is Chinese internet stocks, also nice steady collapse. And if you want a little bit more leverage, there's CWeb, that's a 2Xer, and also going into sell-off territory. And then here's the Google clone Baidu, which is bleeding out very nicely. And yeah, they enjoyed the $1 trillion rebound, but the hemorrhaging will continue. So yeah. And then let's zoom in a little bit to Baba. Exact same thing. So thank you very much for how much does this go up? 67 to 74, $7. That's nothing. But yes, we do have earnings coming up, as Wani mentioned, in about a week and a half. And anything could happen. This is an ADR. We always know, we've always known that they've been cooking the books. So who knows what's going to happen. Okay, and let's look at the buying public. Yeah, all these retards are buying the dip. Like clearly they're not going to our trader talks and listening to my research. But yeah, these guys will get their asses handed to them in the coming weeks. So we'll see what happens. And we got 15 minutes left. Thank you, Fla, for posting today's earnings trades. Who has the most front vol out of this list? Let's make that chart really quickly since a lot of us are doing earnings trades. Blah, I want to call it blah. Let's see, who's today? KLAC, V, MSC.
Does anyone know KLAC?
KLA, there's a big company. They have a presence in Fremont, right? They do management consulting and whatnot, I think.
Is that what used to be KLA 10 core?
Something, yeah, right. I'm fuzzy.
So I just put some blind orders in with like high prices, and I'm getting filled on iron condors, 5% overnight. So watch out.
Oh, juicy.
So like three expected moves away, and I'm getting 5% overnight. So
there's that much juice. Wow.
That's because it's super wide, and I'm like, I'm not gonna get filled. I got filled a couple of times.
Wow.
Oh wow. Okay.
So you're trading it for earnings, Fab?
Yep, for overnight.
Overnight. They have the earning tomorrow after, right?
It's
aftermarket?
Either today after or tomorrow before.
Okay. Here's the list. Thank you again, Flav. Let's look at front vol. Who's the highest? Why won't this sort? 105 for KLAC. The highest is Intel. Number 2 is Western Digital, Capital One, and then KLAC. But yeah, if you guys have the buying power, let's take a look at KLAC.
Okay, let's see.
KLAC. All right. Let's take a look at the betting public. Mixed bag, slightly bearish. Okay. All right. 3 sigma, right? Oh my God. Ooh. Wait, what strikes are you looking at, Bob? These are
I
super
sold the
sloppy.
555 puts.
555.
I sold calls at 7:30.
Are you naked?
No, I did I just hit some 10 wides, some 5 wides.
Oh, okay.
I was just kind of
You
throwing
just got
stuff at the
lucky.
wall and it
Just
stuck.
just intraday movement. You got lucky, huh? Okay.
Well, I got filled now a minute ago.
Okay.
Let's try this again.
Okay. Interesting.
It's so wide that you don't think you'll get filled, but someone's picking them up.
Let's see. That's not quite 5%, but let's widen that a little bit. Half of that. That's still not bad.
I got 5% at 5 wide.
Wow.
I got 25 bucks for
just a good moment in time. Okay. Okay. 15's not bad. 7. Okay, it's all over the place. Okay, it's moving a lot. Okay, all good. Here's the chart in case you guys want why isn't this working? Okay, but yeah. The highest is Western Digital and Intel. Intel's the juicy one. Let's see if that works. Oh, let me stop recording. Since we've finished our program for the most part. Oops, stop screen share.